Is he the guy from New Jersey?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was reading about him in New Jersey Monthly.
That is a very New Jersey thing you just said.
I didn't even know that was a thing. New Jersey Monthly.
Girl Scout, subscribe to magazines. Gotta get all of them.
Wait, why? Why do you need to do that?
Points. Street cred.
Street cred.
Is one of them like crochet monthly?
You don't know about Girl Scout street cred? Come on.
That's
You get shanked, man. If you don't buy cookies, you will get shanked. All right.
my bad. My bad.
It's What You Watchin' time. Welcome to Watchin', presented by Geeky A Go-Go, a show where we dive into what's currently on our screens. Big screens or little screens, size matter not here, just the quality, or lack thereof, of our cues. I'm Chris Nitro. Joining me today in the Go-Go is Anthony Pizzuto, Eric Ho, and Tim Boylan. Gents, how are you?
Woo. That was enthralling, Christopher. You get. I
Chris, not Christopher. Excuse
know.
me.
I called him Christopher.
It's Nitro.
It's Nitro. Damn it. Should we edit that out? Should we do this all over
No,
again,
dude.
Chris?
Nope. It's a one and done.
It's a one and done. I'm good. I'm excellent. Thank you for asking. I've been working.
And you?
So something fun I've been working on this week. So I'm not typically a Lego person. I think we've talked about this in the past, but I'm not a Lego person. And so for my birthday a couple weeks ago, I was like, you know what? I want to relive my youth. And when I was a kid on my birthday, I would go to the hobby store with my dad and I'd buy a model kit and I'd build a model kit. We'd take the day off from school. I was like, I want something to make. But nowadays when I make a model kit, I have to like film it and turn it into a production and light it. And it takes days and weeks and all that stuff. So I wanted something fun to do. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'll try Legos. And so I picked up, and fun fact too, I picked up the DeLorean, Lego DeLorean. The like deluxe one or the icons one or whatever it is, the very expensive one. Pro tip though, Target.com, if you buy it online and pick it up in store, you save like $30. Because, yeah, you would think it would be in the reverse. So I was looking at it and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go and pick it up. And I go to the store and it's like $199, $269, something like that. Anyway, it was way more than what it was on the website. And I was like, wait a second. And then I look it up on the website and they're like, prices in store may vary. And so I was like, oh, so I went home, ordered it, and then went back and picked it up and saved $30. Anyway, but it's been a really fun build, and it actually may have changed my opinion of Legos.
Ooh.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes,
Ooh.
it may have opened up a little bit of a Pandora's box. My kids now have Lego sets that we've been putting together, and they're loving it. So, yeah, but the DeLorean, I'll post pictures of it. I ordered a lighting kit for it as well, because why not? And I'm waiting for that to arrive. But disappointing, it was missing 4 pieces. So I'm actually kind of at a standstill. Yeah, 4 pieces were missing. So I had to...
For Lego?
From the Lego set?
Unacceptable.
Yeah, and they were like key pieces. So I had to go to the Lego website, and they actually have like a whole system where you can order replacement parts for free. So I did. It was great. And I'm just waiting for them to arrive now.
They do a whole thing where they apologize for losing your pieces and whatnot. So yeah, it's pretty cool how they deal with it. Like, oh, sorry, you included the box, and they have a whole thing and whatever. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool that Lego does it. It sucks when you're doing a Ultimate Collector Series Lego Death Star, and you're working on this for weeks and weeks and weekends and months, and then all of a sudden you're just like, I gotta wait till something comes in the mail. But yeah, it happens every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm hoping it gets here pretty quickly. But yeah, other than that, it's been fun, and I'm looking forward to their apology letter.
Excellent.
AP, since this is what you're watching, and maybe I can feed your Lego addiction, you should check out Brickmasters.
Is that the one hosted by
Will Arnett.
Will Art? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's good stuff.
My kids like it, and they love Legos, so maybe it gets you a little bit warmer to Lego.
All right. I'll check it. I think I've seen the trailers on Hulu.
Gents, Tim or Eric, would you like to share anything for this week?
I'll go. Nothing exciting. And to you,
Thank you.
Tim.
Thank you, Eric. Over to you, Tim.
I've been watching. So it's getting warmer out, right? I think it's daylight savings time today. Clock's spring forward, or are we sprung forward already?
Last night, daylight savings
Okay.
ended. I don't know which one of the two. It did it last night at 2 a.m. here on the East Coast.
Right, exactly. So since the weather is getting warmer, and today was really nice outside, it's motorcycle season. So I've been watching lots of motorcycle videos, and I have been watching this one person. Her name's Carolyn. Her YouTube channel is Doodle on a Motorcycle. I think you have heard of her, AP?
Yep.
Shaking your head, yeah. So she did a video this week about some myths about motorcycling, and they're actually pretty good myths that are totally busted, but I am watching a lot more now to just get back into it and get the mojo going back. So, but it's a good watch. She's got good content, good educational content if you're a newbie on a motorcycle, if you like them, and just overall good stuff.
I actually, she might still be. So I'm on a Patreon for the YouTube Creators Hub, and we have a Discord server, and she used to be a member of that. And so we've interacted before in terms of like sharing feedback on videos and stuff like that. She's super cool.
Yeah, her content's really good. It's well thought out. She does, some great kind of series on certain things. So
Nice, cool. All right, let's kick this off. I'll start with me this week, right? Start. What you watching? What have I watched? Again, I'm still continuing on my Big Bang Theory saga. I'm on season 7. It's still holding strong in its rating. I like the show. It hits close to heart a little bit. I know, Eric, we talked about this to no end, but I like it. Okay, it hasn't gotten bad yet. Has it jumped the shark? Maybe. I don't know. I still think it's fun. So yeah. In the new news, I did go. Let me preface this. I went back and rewatched Dune Part 1. Not the 1980s film, but the 20 whatever pandemic year it was that it was released on our TV screens. So I saw Dune Part 1, and I realized I must have fallen asleep watching it because there were very long swaths of the film that I didn't remember at all whatsoever. It was one of those things where like I probably nodded off and I woke up again. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't miss much. I probably nodded off for like 30 seconds or so, and it was probably like half an hour or something like that. So Dune Part 1, highly recommend. Very nice film, visually stunning. Loved it a lot. And so that is the precursor to what I saw just this past weekend was Dune Part 2. Again, very good film. I liked it a lot. Visually stunning. I don't know how much more to talk about because it's still in the theaters and it's a little bit of spoilery if I want to release it. I have no point of reference because I didn't read any of the books. My only point of reference is actually the original Dune film with Jean-Luc Picard in it.
There are more than Jean-Luc Picard in that movie.
Yes.
A lot more.
I know.
A lot more. Yeah.
A lot. Star-studded cast for the 80s. I know, but that's my only point of reference. And obviously it's an 80s film, and I've heard the grumblings like no one could really film Dune because it's so obscure and there's like lots of things. But I think they did a pretty good job from what I haven't read the book, so from what I understand, I think they did a really good job of capturing the essence of the book without having read the book. I could understand where people are talking to themselves in like over voices and stuff like that. So like I get what people were referring to, but I think they did a good job. Timothée Chalamet, I think he did a great job carrying the flag of the House Atreides. I definitely recommend it.
So You've seen the original, though, right? Yeah, you did say you saw
Yes.
the original. So without spoiling it, because I think Dune, the '84 one. So the book. Have any of you others have read this? Have you read the book? Yeah. I mean, it's a beast of a book, and there is a lot going on. Like to the point where you like feel like you need to have a notebook to remember like all the names and who's doing what. Like there's a lot to it. But I felt like Dune '84 did a relatively decent job in terms of taking probably 1,000 pages almost and making it an hour and a half, hour and 45-minute movie. Do you think? Which one do you prefer, Dune '84 or Dune 21 and 24?
There are things in. So what I remember from Dune, I haven't seen Dune '84 in years. I probably since like Netflix was still on discs, or maybe even prior to that. I might have like picked it up at Blockbuster or something. So Dune '84, what I remember other things happening in it. I remember like the voice thing they used it.
Mm-hmm.
There was like training with like how to weaponize it, and they were teaching other people how to use it and stuff like that. Am I thinking wrong, or do I remember correctly?
Yeah, they trained in '84.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so but specifically with the using of the voice. So yeah, that for the limited technology of the time. And how they wanted to compress the story down into one film, I think they did a pretty good job. Comparing the two, I don't think it really compares. It's leaps and bounds, filming on location and, even bigger star-studded cast. And just the scale of it, this definitely feels more like an epic. So if I had to pick between the two, I'd definitely pick the modern take on Dune.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Dune Chapter 2.
And a standalone, I'll give it the rating. I'll give it 4 disco balls.
4 disco balls.
Dune Part 2.
Okay.
Dune Part altogether collectively Dune Parts 1 and 2 4 disco balls.
Okay. What's holding it back from that 5th shiny disco ball?
There's always, I'm just a perfectionist. There's always something. So
Always
the one thing that annoyed me to no end in Part 2 was the constant flipping back and forth between light and dark scenes.
Okay.
So it's like you're watching a dark scene, your eyes adjust, and then all of a sudden, boom, complete desert. You're like, oh crap, wow, So
Oh, interesting.
I just didn't like it, but it works. It tells the story. They have to do that stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if it was like an artistic choice to kind of get the audience comfortable with one, and then kind of living the desert life. Flashing it, and kind of screwing with your eyes. Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my Watcha for the week. Let's move over to Tim. What you watching?
Didn't we just?
You talked about one thing. We have 2 things a week. Come on.
Oh, 2 things a week?
Jesus, Tim, and that was like what we're doing this week. It's not what you're watching.
Well, now Tim need to go figure out something else about what he wants this
All right,
week.
go to Eric.
Right, yeah,
go to
now
Eric.
All right, I will jump in. I'll give you some time, Tim.
Thank you, Eric, for saving the day.
So I finished watching Avatar, The Last Airbender, Season 1 on Netflix. That was my watching this past week. It's nice. I actually never saw the animated version of the show. And, I think there's just some really great actors I was excited about in this movie, including, by the way, Paul Sang-hyun Lee, who is a member of the Legion as well. So very, very excited to see him, in addition to doing all these Star Wars films and now getting the recognition that he should be getting in places like Avatar. And he was fantastic in it. And overall, I just loved it. I actually really, really liked it, season and the series. And I look forward to the next one.
So in a nutshell, what is Avatar: The Last Airbender? For those of us who immediately thought of gigantic blue people.
Which is actually I forgot who it was. There was an actor who was in the movie who the show who got interviewed and thought he was auditioning for Avatar, the blue people. And then they go, no, this is for Avatar, the animated version. He still got the role, so I guess he did a great job.
Nice.
So I'm not gonna do this justice, so y'all should look this up yourself. But the idea is that there's all these elements, right? So like fire, water, whatever, and there's these people who can bend them to your will, essentially, kind of situation. And an avatar to them is like someone who can blend the power for all of these power. And so these things like tribal kind of things, right? They're different. Like there's a fire tribe, there's a whatever kind of tribe, and an avatar get rotated. When one dies, like another one show up in another kind of element kind of situation. Anyway, so season 1 was all about the fire group of people really wanting to kind of destroy all these other essentially elements so they can, I don't know, take over the world or something. And the main character is the last airbender from the air tribe, essentially. It's his journey with his pals to try to save the world, essentially. And it's fun. I think I've always said that I love watching up and coming talent, especially for shows like these. You're gonna get a lot of like young actors, essentially, who are kind of being like big stage for the first time, and it's just really great and satisfying to kind of see them kind of acting, and very excited about their career as they kind of, even though they choose to kind of continue down this route. But it's very cool, and Netflix actually renewed the show. I think right away for 2 seasons, which is nice. I actually haven't seen them done that before. I've always only seen they do a season and then they maybe renew for a season. Now this is based on something that's already pre-established, so maybe there's more of a reason. But it was really cool to see that they greenlit 2 seasons right away for the show.
That's awesome.
So I thought it was really neat.
That's great. That's
excellent. Great. Did you see the M. Night Shyamalan film?
No, but I did know about that one.
Okay, I know it was critically planned, so I don't. I maybe people are just like, I know there's a huge following for our Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I haven't gotten into it yet. It is in my Netflix queue, which is slowly building up since I'm stuck on Big Bang Theory for so long. So yeah, I know all those people that love the last Avatar: The Last Airbender. They really hated that film. They were like, "This is garbage." So I was just wondering if you had seen it or not.
No, there were no such problem with this series. I think that universally people loved it, which is really nice to see. Also, as an aside, since you just brought him up, did you know M. Night Shyamalan's daughter is now also directing movies?
Really?
Yes,
oh, wow.
Something came out, I think, just this past month, that she's I don't know if it's like a film making the film festival circuit or something, but I saw the last name and I go, no way. And I go, oh, it is his daughter. I don't know what it's about, but I just remember seeing that.
Looks like it's called The Watchers, and it looks like it's going to be a theatrical release in June. Her name is Ishana Night Shyamalan. And the film will be released via Warner Brothers / New Line Cinema. Wow, all right. Good for her.
Actually, I saw the trailer for that during Dune 2. I'm pretty sure it was Dune 2.
Oh, nice.
Quirky. Definitely Shyamalan-esque, if that's a verb we want to use. Yeah, I'd check it out. I was always a fan of M. Night Shyamalan. People just hated him for whatever reason. People felt like they were lied to as an audience, and I'm like, don't take this so seriously. He makes good films, and he makes films about film. So I like him as a director.
M. Night Shyamalan, to me, like, I think it's hit or miss a lot of his movies. For me, I don't hate his films, but it's one of those where like, oh, is this it? Like, are you just continuing the trope that you're doing? But it's great. They are great movies. It just it's sometimes it works for me and sometimes it doesn't. That's just me.
Well, it's one of those things where, like, how many times can you play the same trick? Like when we all first saw The Sixth Sense, and I hope this isn't a spoiler alert because it's been out for 30 friggin' years. But he's been...
Well, Chris was afraid of Dune spoiler, and that thing has been out for decades.
So I think Dune, the book, came out in the 60s. But Bruce Willis being dead the entire film, like, that was a jaw drop. Like, that was the biggest, like, what? I remember in the movie theater, like, the audible, what?
Wait, he's dead the whole film?
Sorry, Tim. I know you've been under a rock in your basement for the last 30 years, but he's been dead the whole time. And then there was The Village, and The Village was great too. And then you get to the end, and there's the big twist at the end. It's like, oh my God, that's great. But then it's like, all right, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. What's going to be the big shocker at the end now? And then it's just like, okay, all right, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. We know there's going to be a twist at the end. Let's just get to it, all right?
Which is still fine, if you're into that. It's just that some of these things became a little bit predictable.
Well, so there was the movie that came out a few years back called Old, and it's about this couple this group of people get stranded on a beach, and they can't leave the beach, and their age is accelerated super fast, thus the name Old. And the twist to that was kind of almost like a phone it in type of thing. It was like, really? That was it? So I'm with you. Like, it's hit or miss, and I think as he's kind of gotten on in his career, there's been a lot more misses because we're all wise to it at this point. Maybe that can be a topic, an M. Night Shyamalan retrospective by the Geeky Go-Go.
I will say, though, something you just said, Anthony. Back when The Sixth Sense came out, internet was not like what it's at today. And I feel like it's very unfortunate we don't have this feeling anymore of we go see a movie, we try not to share it with anybody, and we just go, OMG, you cannot believe what happened. You gotta go watch it. And then you have a little circle of people to do that. Like, these days, it's so easy for things to be ruined, right? And I just remember I remember being in theater, trying to process what had just happened, came out, and everyone trying to be quiet because the next group is going in to watch it. And then I still very much remember that moment. It's just one of those things where I go, oh, that is so cool. Like, that is a moment that it's really hard to have that these days, which is, I think, unfortunate.
100%.
Yeah, if you don't go see stuff opening night, people will even. I wouldn't even say people. The algorithm will ruin it for you because it knows that you like these things. It knows you've been researching it. It knows you've been buying tickets for stuff, and it's like, oh, I'm going to see with the next Ghostbusters, whatever. Like, here's all the plot holes. Like, the day the movie gets released, and it's like, oh, come on, like, really? Like, I didn't need to look at my phone today, and I have to wait till all the way into the evening when I actually go bought tickets to watch the movie. So I totally get you, Eric. I'm with you on that. Tim, are you ready?
I am. The other thing that I have been watching, this is probably a little bit more of a serious one, but I had been watching a lot of the Hannah Gutierrez Reed trial this past week. And the verdict was delivered, I think, on Monday. Might have been Tuesday. If you're familiar with...
Yeah, why don't you expound on this, please?
So Hannah Gutierrez Reed, she was the armorer on Rust. So they had the trial for her, and they found her guilty of involuntary manslaughter, which is... I mean, the whole situation is unfortunate for everybody. Obviously, I think there was this assistant producer was killed, and whole bunch of mishaps, and just watching the trial, there's a lot of things that went wrong, and I kind of felt bad for her because there are some parts where the production team and even the directors and even the head armor were kind of screwing up. But just really kind of sad for everybody involved. But I have been watching that lately. I think it was on like Long Crime or something like that. But probably a little bit more of a serious. What you watching?
You know, that channel you're just mentioning feels like something I see at a dentist's office. Like, where is that channel?
What, Long Crime? I think it's a YouTube channel.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it's a YouTube channel.
I thought it's one of those channels in the over the air that you can never find. Actually, no, that you can watch because you're watching over the air.
Well, normally it's like, because they obviously I don't watch it live, but they record, a section of the trial and you can watch it secondhand. But there'll be like kind of commentators on the, attorneys who know this type of stuff, and they'll give their 2 cents and they'll say, here's what I think the defense needs to do, prosecution, kind of almost like watching an NFL game, but I don't know, it's a little bit bizarre. But yeah, unfortunate. And I think now Alec Baldwin is next up. So.
Well, everyone has their day in court, right? That's the expression?
Yeah.
Well, God, I hope not everybody. I don't want a day in court, damn it.
Right, not everybody.
Thanks.
Well, the court of public opinion.
Thanks, Chris. All right.
I mean, the court of a public opinion, I think he's been tried already on that one. All right, Eric. No, we already went Eric. Sorry. Eric, well, you wanted to talk about Dune a little bit, buddy. You gotta expound a little bit more because you saw it as well.
Oh. I mean, you guys still haven't seen it, other than Chris. I don't know. A week in, I still like it. I might go see it again.
Wait, wait.
I do think that, by the way, Dune is the kind of, I have an argument with another one of my friends who has a sick home theater setup. And his whole thing is, I'm never leaving my home theater. And I mean, it is probably a really good setup knowing this guy. But I just don't know how you're going to replicate this feeling of being theater and seeing a movie like this with the sound and the image and the community around. Like, I just don't know how you recreate that. And another reason why I keep pushing people to say, go see Dune theater. Like, these are the kind of movies you go to a cinema for. And same thing again, I will say to Anthony and Tim, go see Dune theater.
Okay.
I second that. I've always enjoyed the theater going experience, and definitely this specific Dune is definitely go to the movies for. There's battle sequences and special effects and things like that, so 100%.
Yeah, and Pizzuto, don't you have a crush on Rebecca Ferguson? Because
that's you.
No,
that's you.
That's me. Okay,
I have a crush on
Rebecca
Zendaya
Ferguson on the big screen.
Well,
Zendaya on the big screen, man. Go for it.
Well, on the little screen too. Any screen, really. All right.
Size matters not.
Size matters not. That's right. Not here at the Go-Go. All right, Eric. How many disco balls are you giving Airbender and Dune?
4.5 to Airbender.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, or 4. Whatever. It's. I'm not like Chris. I reserve 5 for like OMG 5.
All right.
So 4 is pretty good.
All right.
And then Dune, I don't remember what I said last time, but still up there.
All right. Cool. And Toots,
Nice.
how many disco balls are you giving the trial of Hannah Gutierrez?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me about Doodle on a motorcycle first. Jeez.
No.
Totally forgot about that one, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh.
Well, now that we're in the segment, what you watching, Doodle doesn't count. So you wasted her on how your week's going. That's all right. After we stop recording, I'll educate you on how this podcast works.
You can edit it back.
All right. So
Doodle,
how many disco balls does Doodle get?
Doodle gets 4 disco balls. I'll give Doodle 4 because she's pretty good, and you semi know her, so she gets half a disco ball for that.
Oh, okay.
So 3.5, and then the other half is because of your
What's
illustrious
half a disco
acting.
ball?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God.
Half a disco ball is a disco bowl? What?
Ball,
That actually is
disco
true. It is.
ball. Yes, disco bowl.
Oh boy. Okay.
Hey,
All
hold
right.
on. Speaking of half a disco ball,
It's
this
disco
is already
ball.
going on like 10 different tangents. Disco ball. So, blown away. The new season is on Netflix, I think. So that will be my watching for next week.
Ooh, spoiler alert for next week.
Nice.
Blown away.
And the trial, Tim?
Should I give it 5 disco balls?
It's so realistic,
it-
so you're giving it 5 disco balls.
No. I don't know. 0 disco balls.
Oy vey. Okay. All right.
All right.
Can I
Thank you,
try to
Tim.
save us, Chris? With my
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Mr. Pizzuto? What you watching?
All right. So this week I have a few things that I was watching. So a friend of mine introduced me to this movie that came out last year called Theater Camp, and I obviously am a theater geek. I grew up in the theater, and so I gravitate towards goofy stereotypes of theater kids, and this does not disappoint. Pretty much Amy Sedaris is the owner of a Catskills type of theater camp, summer theater camp, and she has a stroke and goes into a coma, so her dude bro son has to take over the camp, and obviously he knows nothing about it. He's an influencer, financial influencer, and he just kind of runs it into the ground. But like all the theater stereotypes are there. It's hysterical because it's all true. Ben Platt is in it. Ben Platt he's more well known for being on stage. He was Dear Evan Hansen. He also did the movie version of Dear Evan Hansen. Noah Galvin from The Real O'Neills was in it as well. So just a really great cast. Lots of fun. Quick watch, only an hour and a half. It's on Hulu, if you have Hulu, so you can stream it there. Last night was date night, and so we went to go see Imaginary in the movie theater. I think Imaginary came out yesterday, too. I think it's relatively new. The log line is, a woman returns to her childhood home to discover that the imaginary friend she left behind is very real and unhappy that she abandoned him. So pretty much.
Wait, this is a scary movie?
It's a scary movie, yeah.
So this is not the John Krasinski imaginary friend movie?
That was called Ifs, right? Ifs?
Yeah. No, yeah. This is
okay.
it's a Blumhouse. So the Jason Blum, who gave us Five Nights at Freddy's and Megan and pretty much every great horror movie that's come out in the past 10 years. Well, great's a loose that's a loose use of the word great. But anyway, who's in it? A lot of no names. So I will say, so pretty much this woman comes back to her childhood home, and her stepdaughter discovers a teddy bear named Chauncey. And Chauncey becomes her imaginary friend, and Chauncey starts causing trouble around the house. Acting-wise, not so great. It's almost like a community theater writer and director and actors all got together and said, hey, let's make a movie. So there are some points where the writing is a little blotchy. The acting is lackluster. There's this one woman in it. She kind of plays the neighbor. Betty Buckley is the actress's name. She was terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. There was no emotion. There was no depth. It was the most boring performance of a human I've ever seen on a 30-foot tall movie theater screen. That all being said, the concept is really interesting about imaginary friends coming to life and, trying to do stuff to you and take you away to imaginary land. The visual effects were a lot of fun and well executed, and there were a lot of good jump scares. A woman literally screamed out loud in the movie theater, and there's nothing like being in a horror movie in a movie theater and having someone scream so loud that you feel like you're actually in the movie. So it was a treat. It was a lot of fun. Disco ball rating, though, I'm going to have to give it 3. The acting and writing were not that good. So I'm giving that one 3 disco balls. Theater Camp.
That's a lot higher than I expected from you. It's given what you just described.
But the premise is what got me. And like, I feel like you could have a whole series and a whole lore attached to it. And that's what I like about it. And they even end it in a way where you could kind of open it up into a franchise if you wanted to. Don't know if they will, but I could see this coming to life in comic books. Like there could be a lot of fun you could have with it. And Theater Camp, I forgot to give those disco balls. I'll give that 4 disco balls. 4 disco balls for Theater Camp. And I'm going to do a third one, but I'm not going to rate it yet. It's going to be a teaser for next week, like Eric gave us. But I have 12 and a half minutes left to John Wick Chapter 3. I had to pause it so we could come and record this. So I'm going to go back upstairs after we're done, and I'm going to finish it. But I'll say right now, it is not disappointing. It's living up to all the love that I have for American Treasure, Mr. Keanu Reeves, and the John Wick series so far.
The one you're watching is the one with Halle Berry, right?
Yeah, she plays the
dogs.
Yeah, what are they called? The hotel manager when they're in Casablanca. Yeah.
Dude, and then you need to straight ease into season like John Wick 4, man. Just keep watching tonight. Just keep going.
I might as well.
Just keep going.
I'm going to be on like 4 planes this week, so I'm just going to load it up with the Continental and John Wick 4 and just kind of pound it all out on all my flights this week.
Don't.
No, do it.
The Continental.
Oh, ooh, really? No.
I mean,
We talked about this.
I mean, we talked a little
this.
bit about it, but I didn't realize your disdain for it wasn't as evident as it is right now.
if you want to load up stuff where you're playing it, might be falling asleep watching it, then it's fine.
All right. Okay.
I'm just saying, I don't want you to feel the low after riding that high for the John Wick franchise.
All right. I appreciate the heads up. Okay, then I'm not going to resubscribe to Peacock, and I'm not going to watch the Continental.
You could watch the SpongeBob movie, AP, because Keanu Reeves is the tumbleweed in that movie.
Is he really? The original one that came out in like 2003?
I forget. My kids were watching it the other day, and he was in the tumbleweed. I was like, is that Keanu Reeves? I'm like, it is Keanu Reeves.
That's awesome. I love Keanu Reeves. One of the joys I get in my doom scrolling is when a YouTube short pops up of him doing just goofy stuff around the house. I just love Keanu Reeves. He's great. So that's what's on my watch.
just to let you know, like the 4th one, again, a few things just to whet your appetite.
Ooh, okay.
They take you to Japan, first of all, so that's part of it, and you get to see people in Paris, and you get to see Hiroki Sanada, who's fantastic. You get to see Donnie Yen, who's fantastic, and it's got a Skarsgård in there, so I'm just saying, like.
I mean, they're taking over. They're taking over Hollywood. They're in every movie now.
Yeah,
just to round it out, you add a Skarsgård to your production. I get it.
That's right.
There's plenty of them to go around.
Which I don't think.
There was one in Dune, right?
I don't think all of them are related.
They're not. That's the strange thing. They're not all related.
They're just a Skarsgård.
I mean, they're maybe like related, like cousins 3 times removed or something. But yeah, they're not all related. It's very interesting.
Yeah. They still need to use that app to check.
23andMe. Nah, I'm not related to that one.
No, it's the app in Iceland? Is that Iceland?
Is that where they're from?
It's a dating app.
Oh.
No, legitimately, you need to check to make sure you're not related.
Oh my god, really? That's amazing.
Yes. I'm not kidding. It's a real thing.
Is it called Gattaca?
Isn't that a game, a video game?
No, that's Galaga.
Galaga. Yeah, right.
Gattaca
is a movie.
Is the movie where you had to have genetic markers, and when you went on dates, you had to like see if you were genetically compatible, and they were like purging people that had genetic markers for things.
I vaguely
they weren't
remember
allowed
this.
to date. Yes,
it's a great movie.
Uma Thurman, Ethan Hawke,
Uma Thurman, and then Jude Law.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, this is the app that I was talking about, and I'll just read it real quick. Iceland has a population of about 330,000, with more than 2/3 of the population living around the capital. With such a small population in a small space, and with such a homogenous population, it comes as no surprise that most Icelanders are distantly related. In order to keep the dating game strong and without any surprises down the road, Icelanders have developed a mobile app to make sure that they're not related.
That's amazing.
The intent is to check to see if your potential romantic partner is a distant relative before any other steps are taken.
That's amazing. That's amazing. There was something recently on CNN. You know what? Let's just end this, and we can talk about this later. Because this episode's going to go way too long into a rabbit hole. Thank you for the rabbit holes.
Yes.
Wow. If there's anything anyone can say about this show, it's that we cannot go down a straight path. There are many twists and turns. All right, Chris, am I taking us out, or did you have anything else to add?
I do not have it. After that, I do not have anything else to add. I'm glad. I mean, it's a beautiful country, but I'm glad I'm not an Icelander. So yes, please, Mr. Pizzuto, take us out.
All right. Well, thank you, boys, for sharing what you watching. Do you want more Geeky A Go-Go? Well, make sure you're following us on all the socials at Geeky A Go-Go and share with us what you're watching. Maybe you'll inspire our cues as well. Want swag? Want to connect with us on a higher level? Well, head on over to patreon.com/geekyagogo and support the show. You'll get awesome swag and other perks. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you're following the show on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review. Thanks so much for listening, and you stay geeky, Internet.
Bye.
Bye.
Toots. Toots. Say it. Bye.
By the way, this Skarsgård is related to that Skarsgård.